We posted a reel yesterday that completely blew up across all of our socials between Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, everything. Talked about the fact that 5.9% of all homes across the country got pulled off the market last month, whether it was withdrawn or expired across the country. And what city led the charge? It was Atlanta. 10% of all homes that were on the market got pulled off last month. And that's not a coincidence. That's not market timing. That's all the forces going on in the market right now coming together at the same time. Sellers are frustrated. So here's what I want you to realize. If your home was sitting on the market and you took it off, it's not that the market is bad. It's just something was not working. So if the house has come off the market and you're getting ready to list it, or you're getting ready to list the house and you don't want to be one of those statistics of somebody who just did not sell their house, this is the video for you, because we're going to talk about strategies to get your home sold. We've been doing this across the North Atlanta area. This is how we're going to get your home sold now. So before we talk about those 5, let's set the stage. Let's talk about where we are right now in the market, because I think that's going to be part of the solution to helping you get the home sold and get back on the market, or when you actually go onto the market. The thing to keep in mind is this is a different market than what we saw just a couple of years ago. You remember coming out of the pandemic, you had rates basically in the 3s, you had buyers everywhere, sellers were getting multiple offers, buyers were having fistfights in the parking lot, things like that. It was a crazy market. Things have completely changed in the last 4 years. Where we are right now, you have rates are basically in the mid 6s. We have a little bit of a skirmish out in the Middle East that is causing a lot of people to pump the brakes, wonder what's going to happen next. Okay, so higher rates, a little bit of volatility going on in the world, and buyers, they've got a lot of houses to choose from. Okay, we've got the highest inventory now that we've seen in about the last 15 years in Atlanta. Okay, so with that higher inventory, buyers kind of feel like, if I love this house, put a pin in it. Come back to it at the end of the weekend. Let's look at some more. They don't have to move at that house. Whereas back just a couple years ago, that house came on the market, there'd be dozens of offers on that house. And buyers were missing out all over the place because you had to waive all kinds of inspections, you had to waive contingencies, you had to go way up on price, all that stuff. Buyers are much more choosy now. It's a much different market. So to win in this market, your house has to be priced right, presented right, staged right out of the gate. Let's get into it. We're talking about the top 5, right? These are the 5 things that I really want you to focus on. Focus on these 5. We're going to start at number 5 all the way down to the most important thing. We're going to talk about all 5. You hit all 5 of these things, you're going to have a much better chance of getting sold, even in this market, even with the buyers kind of dragging their feet, things like that. We want to give them a product that's going to knock their socks off and make them want to move. We're going to talk about it. Top 5. Let's roll. All right, so the number 5 thing that I want you to think about is timing. Okay, when selling your house, there are time frames that you can put your house on the market. Okay, some time frames are a little bit more advantageous than others. Okay, if I'm selling my house, one of the worst times to sell my house when it comes to getting the most number of buyers for your house is probably going to be sometime, I'm going to say mid-July all the way through mid to late August. People are going back to school. People already have the house under contract that they want to jump from school to school. Things are going on, late summertime vacations, all the things are going on in the summertime. The last thing people want to do is go looking for houses. Now, can you get your house sold that time of year? 100%. But if we really want to maximize the market, get the best deals possible, get the best offers possible, that's kind of one of those windows we kind of walk away from. Now, one of the issues that we've had this spring is the fact that people listed their house right at the beginning part of April, right in the normal time when people are supposed to list their house. Guess what happened? Everything happened out in the Middle East starting at the beginning part of March, and that has lasted all the way to now. It's kind of thrown a wet blanket over the market, okay? It's just completely simmered everything down a little bit. You would typically get a lot of buyers in the spring. It's been kind of quiet this year, okay? Thankfully, a little bit better than it was this time last year, but still not what we were expecting. The hope is, as we get over the next couple months, maybe we get into fall, things are going to improve a little bit. Hopefully things out in the Middle East are a little more improved. Maybe the rates come down a little bit. Everybody's back to school, and people who definitely want to make a move are back in the market looking. Okay, so all those things, timing is very important. So you want to talk to your realtor about timing wise. What's the peak time for me to get in there, take advantage of the market and get buyers? Okay, because maybe you jumped in at the wrong time. Maybe you jumped in the beginning part of January. Maybe you jumped in right after everything started out in the Middle East and everything just went kind of crazy. Okay, we want to get you on the best time possible. That's number 5, timing. Number 4, you've got to have professional presentation. Okay, your agent has got to come in there and really bring it when it comes to taking pictures, when it comes to doing all the videos, when it comes to getting it online, when it comes to having your house staged, things like that. A lot of times you'll see, and we try and tell this to all our sellers, look online. Look at your neighbors that are selling. Look at what their houses look like and have an honest conversation with yourself of what your house looks like. Am I stacking up against these other houses? Okay. Does my kitchen look as nice as their kitchen? Is there a way, I'm not saying you need to throw $50,000 into your kitchen, but is there a way that I can make my kitchen stand up against that kitchen? Or is it just like, I have the same kitchen they've got, but man, their pictures look great, and my realtor brought in their iPhone to take pictures? That's a no-no. Presentation-wise, okay? We need to be aware of the fact that we're putting our best foot forward when we go on the market, okay? And that really leads into number three. Number three, we've got to have the house ready to sell. We say it all the time, okay? You don't want to make the house look like you're on an episode of Surprise Seller. Okay, I joke about that with my buyers all the time. The house looks like it was on an episode of Surprise Seller. It's like they didn't even know their house was on the market. There's stuff all over the place. There's clutter all over the place. The house wasn't cleaned. The house just does not look ready. In this time frame that we're in this market that we're in, you have such competition. They're really pulling out all the stops. We've got to get the house ready. We've done videos on this. If you have questions about that, I'm going to put a video up above me to talk about some of the things you can do to your house right now to get it ready, get it staged, things like that. But we've got to think about staging. The biggest one is declutter. We've got to get I'd say about a third of the stuff out of the house that's already in the house, at least. Okay. If it doesn't serve an everyday purpose, it's got to go. We've got to clean. And if that means we've got to invest in getting a cleaner in here, invest in getting a cleaner in here. We got cleaners that come clean your house for $250, $300. It's the best $250, $300 that we spend when we have them come in here, okay? Because they clean this house, okay? And that's big for buyers. We want to look and see, are there any maintenance items that we can tend to? Are there any updates that we can do to the house? Like I said, I don't want to put a $50,000 kitchen in your kitchen, okay? Because you're not going to get that money back. But there's some things that we can do. Can we paint some rooms? Can we steam clean some carpets? Can we do all those things? There are things that we can do to get your house ready. Okay, and like we talked about earlier, the big thing is I want us to look at the other houses that are on the market and really have that honest conversation with ourselves. How can we measure up against these houses? Or maybe we're kicking their butts. Our house looks great compared to their house. Why is my house not selling? Okay, that could be because of number two and number one. We'll get to that in just a second. That's one of the most important things, is we really want your house to sing and dance when it goes on the market. It's no longer, I don't want you to think of this as being your home anymore. Okay, this is kind of a hard thing that we tell our people, okay, but it's not your home, it's going to be their home. Okay, we want to stage it so it's a blank slate, so that when they walk in the door, they say, "Ah," and they just fall in love with it. Okay, we want to knock their socks off like that. That's what we want to do. Everything that we do, again, talk to your agent about how can we stage this thing like crazy and get this thing really ready to rock and roll and stand out from the competition, get more buyers in there. All right, that's number three. Number two, talking about marketing and visibility. When your house goes on the market, we got to get it out there. Okay, just listing it on the market is not good enough anymore. Okay, because a lot of buyers are looking on all the different websites. They're on Zillow, they're on homes.com, they're on realtor.com. They're looking at their realtor site, they're looking at other realtor sites. They're looking all over the place. Okay, they're looking on Instagram, they're looking on Facebook, they're looking on TikTok, they're looking everywhere. Our job as realtors is to be sure your house is in all of those places, and your house is dropped in front of as many people as possible that are interested in that area or potentially interested in that house. So we're talking about targeted marketing. We're talking about like drone videos that go on Instagram, and we do several different like variations of that, so that kind of continues to go out. We talk about open houses. It's not just open houses and say, hey, we're having open houses. How do we strategically get as many people in those open houses as possible, and then get their contact information so we can follow up with them and say, hey, house is great. Came and took a look at it, what were your thoughts on the house? Or, hey, the house is great, what can we do to help, put an offer together for the house? Whatever it is, you need a realtor, because it's not 2021 anymore. It's not 2022 anymore. A lot of realtors did really good in those times because it was a piece of cake back then, right? It's not a piece of cake anymore. Realtors got to work, okay? So you got to be sure the person that you hire is doing the work, okay? And they're getting your house out in front of everybody. This is not 1996 marketing anymore. Okay, you need somebody who's on the cutting edge of everything that's going on. You're talking about, being sure that your house is, you got the Matterport tours on, on the different websites. You've got the, Zillow 3D tours. You got all of those things. You want to be everywhere, and you want to be optimized everywhere. That's the important thing, because there's a potential that didn't happen when you were on the market the first time. Ask your realtor, what is your plan to get my house in front of as many people as possible? That could be something that you improve the next time you go on the market. All right, number one, you know what I'm going to say. You know what I was going to say as soon as you start watching the video. It's price, and it stinks. I wish if you were selling a $500,000 house, I wish we could get $550 for it. Okay, I mean, it would make me look like a superstar. It's the same thing that I always talk about though. Like when you go to Kroger, milk at the Kroger is $3 a gallon, $4 a gallon. There's a reason it's not $15 a gallon, because if it was $15 a gallon, nobody would buy it. There's a price, okay? And it's driven by market conditions. It's driven by the number of buyers that are out there. It's driven by, you know, what's going on with the interest rates. There's so many forces at play. One of the questions that we get from sellers a lot is, you know, what do you think my house is worth? And I hate to say this, but that at the end of the day, what I think the house is worth doesn't matter. And you know, what the bank thinks it's worth doesn't matter. The most important question that we have to ask ourselves is, what is the price that we're going to put on the house when we list it that's going to get the most amount of buyers in there to come take a look at the house to put forward an offer? That's where we're going to list the house. The house is as much a marketing piece as anything else that we do, because we can do all the drone videos, we can do all the walkthroughs, we can do all the 3D tours, we can do all those things. The house is overpriced by $50,000. The house is not going to sell. Okay? And it's a hard thing to say because everybody wants to squeeze as much from the house as possible, and I completely get it. I'm with you. I want to squeeze as much as we can as well. But we got to keep in mind that the market is going to dictate to us where the price should be. Okay? And if we price it and nobody's going to look at it, we know that we're priced a little high. And we talk with our sellers about, you know, there's certain criteria that we have. If we have X number of buyers come look at the house and we have X number of offers and this and that, then we know that this is where we are with the price. Things like, we have a very scientific way of looking at things. But the science does show if you're priced and nobody's looking at the house, more than likely you are overpriced and we need to adjust the price. Our strategy is, when we're looking at price, kind of look what everything is sold for in the area. We're going to price pretty close to that, if not maybe a hair under. The reason why, we want to create frenzy. We want to create a little bit of a firestorm, right? We want to get a lot of buyers in there, a lot of excitement in there. I want an agent to call me and say, I'm putting an offer in, and I want to be able to say to them, great, you're one of 3 that we have right now. And them say, multiple offers, what? If you can do that, you have hand in the negotiating. Okay, you have the ability to kind of press a little bit in the negotiating. If you go way over and 3 months later you get an offer, you don't have as much hand in the negotiating. I want you to have as much leverage as possible when you're selling your house. So it's very important to hit the price right and get it right out of the gate. Those first couple weekends are the most important weekends that your house is on the market. I want you to sell your house. So if your house did not sell, or if it was on previously and didn't sell, or if you're worried about it not selling, the big culprit is going to be one of those 5 things that we just talked about, okay? The good news about all of them, they are all fixable, okay? You can always adjust the price. You can be sure that you've got an agent in there that's going to really hit the marketing like crazy. You can get your house all prepped up and you know, ready for showing, get it staged, really knock everybody's socks off. You can list it at the exact right time, like all those things. We can get everything fixed, okay? But it takes kind of an audit, okay? Let's take a look at what happened the first time. Let's have an honest conversation about why it didn't sell. And then as we go forward, what do we need to do to get the house to sell? If you do have questions, you know, give us a call, 678-693-2363. I'm gonna drop that phone number down below, or you can hit us up at our email there. We'll shoot you straight. We'll let you know what's going on in the market right now. We've talked to a lot of sellers and told them, because they have goals of, I want to do this. You know, I need to do this and get this much money. We talk to them and say, maybe we need to wait a little bit. If you need to get that much money, maybe we need to wait a little bit until the market meets that. Because I don't want to tell you, hey, why don't you sell the house for a bunch less money than you want to? That doesn't help you with your hopes and dreams. Some people come to us and say, I need to unload this house. I need to unload it 3 days ago. What do we need to do? And we price it accordingly to create that firestorm, to get all those people in there. If you have questions about it, again, you saw the number, you saw the email, or you can leave a comment below. I'll reach out to you there. This is Steve, Milone Home Team with EXP. Appreciate your time. Take care. Bye.